Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Thursday, the 6th of February. Reading through Genesis with McShane, we're following the story of the patriarchs. We're up to Joseph, who has been sold as a slave in Egypt. His master's wife falsely accuses him of attempted rape. His master Potiphar is upset, takes him and has him thrown into prison. And then in verse 20 we read, "But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden." And as I read that, I thought, it doesn't quite go the way that many prosperity preachers would have it. God saw Joseph and he smiled on him. He granted him favor. He showed him kindness. Surely that would be he showed him kindness and he had him released from prison. He showed him kindness and showered blessings on him, and he had his freedom back. He had all the good things in life. He went and found a manor house to settle down in, and he lived a good life. But instead, it's God showed him kindness and left him in prison. God showed him kindness, and for the next couple of years, Joseph stayed exactly where he was, and his condition was unchanged. He was a prisoner. He might have been granted favor and shown kindness by the prison warden, but all that meant was that he was given some responsibilities in prison. He didn't gain his freedom. And I wonder what Joseph thought about that. I wonder if Joseph thought, God has clearly granted me favor here, or whether he thought he'd been abandoned by God in his situation. We're not explicitly told. We know, because we know the story, that God was working things out. God had him in the right place at the right time so that he could end up saving all the nation plus his brothers and family from famine. But Joseph didn't know that. And it made me realize that we do not understand God. And from our perspective, things might seem completely wrong. We might feel as though we've been abandoned by God. And to all our friends round about us, that might be exactly what it looks like. But we might be in Joseph's position, where God has shown us kindness, left us in prison, and merely granted us favor with the warden. And God is working his purpose out. And in the same way that it worked out for Joseph, it will work out for us. That doesn't necessarily mean we'll get our freedom or get our health back or whatever the struggle is that we're having. But we do know that within that, God is still there. God is still present. God is still working. And it's not that we don't have his favor. We might not see his favor. And so our prayer has to be, God, we know you're loving. We know you're good. You know you hear us. We know all of these things. Help us to believe even if we don't understand. So be encouraged by that thought, particularly when you find yourself in prison of some kind, and know that with God we are blessed.